God threw the wing at me. I was like, why are you even here? That's what I was thinking in my mind. He was like, hey, man, enough.
Yeah.
And he just threw a saucy buffalo wing at me, hit me in the side of the face.
It's honestly crazy that more than a decade has passed since Kevin Hart exploded into fame and became one of the biggest names in comedy. Back then, his rise felt real and natural. It didn't seem like Hollywood was forcing him onto people. Fans watched a regular guy hustle his way to the top step by step. Kevin wasn't just telling random jokes either. He talked about his height, family problems, insecurities, and embarrassing moments most people would never admit out loud. That honesty made people connect with him fast. His comedy style was loud, fast, and full of energy. It felt like he was opening up his personal life to the audience instead of just performing rehearsed jokes. People laughed with him because they related to him. That connection helped him stand out from everybody else in comedy. Soon, Kevin went from performing in packed comedy clubs to selling out an NFL stadium, something almost unheard of for a stand-up comedian at the time. Then Hollywood came rushing in. Movie roles started stacking up one after another, and suddenly Kevin Hart was everywhere. On top of acting, he built a huge business empire with productions, fitness brands, partnerships, supplements, and major endorsements. His brand became impossible to avoid. Every year his name just got bigger and bigger. But somewhere along the way, people started noticing a shift. The underdog everybody rooted for slowly started disappearing. Some fans felt the movies became repetitive, like Kevin was playing the same character every time. The comedy specials still got laughs, but people said the authenticity didn't feel the same anymore.
Mother was strict, but she was strict because she saw mistakes that she had made with my brother and letting my brother do certain things and my brother responding to that freedom negatively. So I was the one that couldn't get out of sight. I was the one that never could do something by myself. I had extracurricular activities. I had a babysitter. I was never not watched.
Then the controversies started piling up too. Rumors about cheating, public apologies, extortion drama, and the Oscars hosting backlash suddenly had audiences looking at him differently. By 2024, the conversation around Kevin wasn't only about comedy anymore. Some people started questioning how much influence and power he had behind the scenes in Hollywood. Critics wondered whether Kevin was still the scrappy hustler fans fell in love with, or if he had become a carefully polished celebrity brand. That's what makes the whole thing ironic. Kevin is still successful, still making money, and still winning in business. But many longtime fans feel like he lost the raw authenticity that originally made him relatable. Long before fame, Kevin grew up in North Philadelphia, mostly raised by his mother, Nancy Hart. She was strict, disciplined, and deeply protective of her kids. Kevin and his older brother, Robert Hart, were raised in a single-parent household because their father, Henry Witherspoon, struggled with addiction and spent years in and out of prison. Whenever his father showed up, life became unstable and unpredictable. Money was tight, and the family lived in a small, one-bedroom apartment. Without a strong father figure around, Kevin's older brother eventually got pulled into street life. He joined a gang, started dealing, and later got arrested for robbery. A judge reportedly gave him a life-changing choice, prison or the military. Robert chose the military, and after that, Nancy became even stricter with Kevin. She kept him busy and made sure he stayed away from trouble. That discipline shaped Kevin's work ethic early. School never really fit him, though. Eventually, he dropped out of college and started working as a shoe salesman. Even there, Kevin stood out because of his personality. He worked harder than everybody else, but people also loved being around him. Coworkers constantly laughed at his jokes. Customers stayed longer just to hear him talk, and the energy in the room changed whenever he walked in. One coworker eventually told Kevin he should try stand-up comedy. The moment he grabbed a microphone, something instantly clicked. The laughs, the spotlight, and the crowd reactions gave him a feeling he had never experienced before. He started entering comedy competitions and surprisingly began winning them. For the first time, comedy actually felt like a real career path.
To walk on stage so they can announce a big house, you're the guy with the microphone that's backstage managing the... This is what I see. He's right here. I'm with him. All right, I'll tell him right now. Kevin, hold up 1 second. They just said they're not going to go through or pick it up. Somebody should be back here to talk to you shortly.
Even more surprising was the support he got from his mother. Nancy was very religious and reportedly never even watched stand-up comedy before, but she still believed in Kevin enough to support his dream. She agreed to pay his rent for 1 year while he chased comedy, but only under one condition. If it failed, he had to return to college. Kevin accepted the deal and started grinding through Philadelphia comedy clubs under the name Lil Kev the Bastard. At first, his material relied heavily on impressions and borrowed styles from other comedians. The jokes got reactions, but audiences didn't really connect with him personally yet. Kevin could feel it, so he hit the road harder than ever. Philadelphia, New York, Boston. city after city, club after club. Some nights were brutal. He got booed off stage multiple times, and during one awful performance inside a strip club, somebody even threw a chicken wing at his face. Most people probably would have quit after that kind of embarrassment, but Kevin kept pushing. Those rough experiences taught him something important. Audiences connected more with honesty than fake performances.
Have a team of motherfuckers helping write your jokes. How incredible, like, how much credit can you get for being incredible if that's not your train of thought? But if that's not your point of view, those aren't your thoughts, those aren't your words articulated and formulated to come out and make a motherfucker hunch over and hold their stomach and wipe their tear ducts because they dying because of what they hearing.
So Kevin completely changed his style. He stopped relying on impressions and started talking about his real life, insecurities, strict upbringing, family struggles, and relationship with his father. That shift changed everything. Crowds finally started remembering him because the stories felt authentic. One person who noticed Kevin early was Judd Apatow, who cast him in a recurring role on the sitcom Undeclared. It wasn't a huge role, but it gave Kevin exposure on a network show for the first time. Soon after, he landed smaller movie roles in Paper Soldiers and Scary Movie 3, slowly building momentum in Hollywood. Around the same time, Kevin married Torrey Hart, and for a moment, it looked like his life was finally coming together. But then came a huge disappointment. Kevin helped create the sitcom The Big House, loosely inspired by The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. The network looked excited about the show, and Kevin thought this was going to be his big breakthrough. But right before he was supposed to present the series to advertisers, executives reportedly pulled him aside and informed him the network no longer planned to move forward with it. Imagine thinking your career is about to completely change, only to have the opportunity disappear seconds before it happens. The already filmed episodes eventually aired, but the show was basically dead before it even started. Then another setback hit immediately after that. Kevin landed his first starring movie role in Soul Plane, alongside names like Snoop Dogg, Method Man, Monique, and Sofia Vergara. The film had major hype behind it, but leaked copies spread online before release. By the time the movie reached theaters, many people had already watched it for free. Critics tore the movie apart, and it struggled badly at the box office. Back-to-back failures like that could have ended his career completely. Instead of begging Hollywood for more opportunities, Kevin bet on himself. He returned to stand-up comedy full-time and performed anywhere that would hand him a microphone. Tiny clubs, bars, and random venues became his grind again. Slowly, he rebuilt his reputation one show at a time. In 2009, Kevin took even more control by launching Heartbeat Productions. Soon after, he released the stand-up special, I'm a Grown Little Man, fully leaning into real stories about his life, marriage, insecurities, and fatherhood. Fans loved it because it felt raw and relatable. He followed it up with Seriously Funny, but the real explosion came with Laugh at My Pain. The film reportedly made around $7.7 million at the box office, becoming one of the highest-grossing stand-up films ever at the time.
Comedy is all self-based. I don't tell jokes. My kids, my life, my divorce, my school situation with my kids, my house situation, it's all personal. It's not something that I can go out and have writers come up with and bring back to me because it's my life.
That success proved Kevin didn't need Hollywood anymore. Hollywood needed him. But while his career exploded publicly, his personal life started falling apart privately. Kevin's marriage to Torrey became filled with arguments and trust problems, and the couple divorced in 2011. Not long after, Kevin began dating Eniku Hart, a relationship that later brought even more headlines and controversy. Career-wise, though, things kept getting bigger. Kevin landed a major role in Think Like a Man, and the movie shocked Hollywood by making over $96 million worldwide on a relatively small budget. That moment proved Kevin Hart was no longer just a comedian doing side-acting roles. He had become a legitimate movie star capable of selling tickets on the big screen. Still, Kevin later admitted that while his career looked perfect publicly, his personal life behind the scenes was spiraling. In his memoir, he confessed that the fast lifestyle, non-stop partying, alcohol, and pressure started catching up to him. By April 2013, things finally boiled over. Kevin was arrested for driving under the influence after speeding dangerously on a highway and nearly crashing into a gas tanker truck. The situation could have ended way worse. He was later sentenced to probation and ordered to complete an alcohol education program. But in celebrity culture, incidents like that often disappear from headlines quickly. And for Kevin, that's exactly what happened. Just 2 months after the DUI incident, Kevin Hart released his comedy special, Let Me Explain, and did what he always did best. turned drama into jokes. He joked openly about the arrest, his divorce, and even problems with his kids. Fans loved it, and the special became another huge success. But behind the laughs, something about Kevin's image was starting to shift. A lot more of his material focused on his failed marriage. In one joke, he portrayed his ex-wife Torrei Hart as jealous and controlling, even joking about her hiding in the trunk of his car, trying to catch him cheating. Audiences laughed hard, but not everybody found it funny. Behind the scenes, more comedians started questioning Kevin's credibility.
You've had weird fan characters.
Well, what happens if you're 3'2"? I actually bought a picture of Kevin for you guys when he was 16 as well.
So same age.
Same age. There he is, yeah. He's doing this. I wish I was this tall, but I'll never get this tall.
According to Google, how tall is Kevin?
Well, I'll go for what I know.
Yes.
Legit answer, legit, because I know you're my best friend. 4'2".
Some felt his success came more from marketing power and branding than raw stand-up talent. By the mid-2000s, Kevin Hart was absolutely everywhere. Movies, stand-up tours, commercials, interviews, podcasts, billboards. It felt impossible to avoid him. On paper, it looked like the dream career, but at the same time, public criticism was slowly getting louder. One major moment came in 2014 when comedian Mike Epps was asked which comedian he thought was overrated. Without hesitation, he answered, Kevin Hart. He even added that entertainment is sometimes more about marketing than talent and that the industry pushes certain people harder than others. Kevin responded quickly online, saying he was too busy working to care about criticism. Then he warned Mike that if the comments continued, he'd schedule shows in the same cities on the same nights and beat him at the box office. Some fans saw it as confidence. Others thought it sounded like Kevin flexing industry power behind the scenes. Mike Epps later fired back with another subtle jab, suggesting Hollywood loves entertainers who play the game and stay in line with executives. That comment stuck because it fed into rumors already growing around Kevin. Then Aries Spears added more fuel by suggesting Kevin relied heavily on writers. For Spears, true stand-up credibility meant fully owning every joke yourself. Kevin denied the claims, explaining that credited writers were simply friends helping sharpen ideas, not ghostwriters secretly creating his material. And honestly, much of Kevin's comedy came from personal experiences nobody else could easily invent. Still, some comedians never fully respected him the way they respected more traditional stand-ups. Commercially, though, Kevin was unstoppable. Between 2014 and 2017, he went on a massive run with hit movies like Ride Along, Get Hard, Central Intelligence, and Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle. But a clear pattern started forming. Kevin often played the same role over and over, the loud, panicked, fast-talking comic relief standing next to a calmer co-star. In Central Intelligence and Jumanji, Dwayne Johnson played the cool action hero, while Kevin handled the nervous energy and non-stop yelling. The formula worked financially, but it also trapped Kevin creatively. Studios kept offering the same role because audiences kept buying tickets, and Kevin kept saying yes. Even Kevin joked about using loud energy to hide insecurities, especially about his height.
My life where I feel like I have a target on my back, and because of that, I should make smart decisions. And recently, I didn't. I'm not perfect. I'm not going to sit up here and say that I am or claim to be in any way, shape, or form. And I made a bad error in judgment and put myself in an environment where only bad things can happen, and they did. And in doing that, I know that I'm going to hurt the people closest to me, who I've talked to and apologized to, being my wife and my kids. But I'm not going to also allow a person to have financial gain off of my mistakes. And in this particular situation, that's what was attempted.
The laughs were still there, but the repetition became impossible to ignore. The movies made him richer and more famous, but not everybody felt they earned him artistic respect. At the same time, Kevin's ambition started growing way beyond comedy. He partnered with Nike for his own training sneaker line, launched the Kevmoji app, invested in tech companies, and expanded into multiple businesses. Then came Laugh Out Loud with Lionsgate, a platform built around comedy specials, sketches, and original content. Kevin publicly said he wanted comedians to have more control over their careers, but underneath that was a much bigger goal. He wanted ownership and influence. Kevin Hart wasn't just trying to be a comedian anymore. He was trying to become a mogul. Then the scandal started hitting hard. In 2017, Kevin was photographed outside a Miami hotel late at night with singer Monique Gonzalez while he was married to Eniku Hart. The photos spread everywhere online. At first, Kevin joked about it publicly, but the internet didn't let the story die. Things got messier after Eniku posted that they had been together for 8 years. People immediately started questioning the timeline because it appeared to overlap with Kevin's marriage to Torre. Social media exploded with arguments. Eniku defended herself publicly, while Torre responded by saying people should speak truthfully. Suddenly, Kevin's old cheating jokes started sounding a lot more serious to fans. Then things escalated even more. Kevin uploaded a public apology video admitting he made bad decisions and apologizing to his wife and children. Soon after, reports surfaced claiming someone was trying to extort him over an explicit video allegedly recorded in Las Vegas. Screenshots leaked online, rumors spread everywhere, and the situation damaged Kevin's image badly. At the time, Eniku was pregnant, which made the backlash even worse publicly. Even though she stayed supportive, many fans started looking at Kevin differently after that scandal. The relatable underdog image he spent years building suddenly felt a lot less believable. And before public trust could recover, another controversy completely changed the conversation. The Oscars. Hosting the Academy Awards is one of the biggest achievements in Hollywood, and Kevin being selected proved how powerful he had become in entertainment. But shortly after the announcement, old tweets resurfaced online and created immediate backlash. The real issue became Kevin's reaction. Instead of immediately apologizing again, he initially pushed back and framed the criticism as people digging into the past. That response made the backlash even worse. Eventually, Kevin stepped down from hosting the Oscars completely. That moment felt bigger than losing a hosting job. For the first time in his career, Kevin Hart couldn't simply joke his way out of controversy. And when he returned with new stand-up material later, audiences still laughed, but something felt different. Critics didn't say Kevin stopped being funny. They said he stopped evolving. Around that same time, Kevin also stopped moving like a comedian chasing laughs and started moving more like an executive chasing power. Netflix deals, business mergers, investments, partnerships, Kevin Hart increasingly looked less like a comic and more like a corporation. As Heartbeat expanded into a major media company, conversations around Kevin shifted completely. This wasn't just about comedy anymore. It became about influence, access, and control in entertainment. That's why criticism from comedians like Cat Williams hit harder than normal comedy beef. The issue wasn't simply jealousy. Some people genuinely questioned how fast Kevin rose, how consistently opportunities appeared for him, and how protected he seemed inside Hollywood. Kevin brushed those accusations aside, saying business decisions are based on results. Technically, he wasn't wrong, but when somebody controls platforms, funding, and visibility, neutrality becomes complicated. Some comedians praised Kevin for opening doors. Tiffany Haddish credited him with helping create opportunities. Others, like Monique, suggested those opportunities could disappear just as quickly. That contrast didn't necessarily make Kevin a villain, but it did show how much power he now had in the industry. And honestly, that's where the irony hits hardest. Kevin Hart built his career on honesty, struggle, insecurity, and vulnerability. That's why audiences trusted him. But the bigger his empire became, the safer and more controlled his image started feeling. The rough edges that once made him relatable slowly disappeared. Kevin Hart didn't lose his talent. He simply outgrew the chaos and hunger that originally made people connect with him. The mogul version of Kevin has businesses, investors, and partnerships to protect now. He can't really move the same way anymore. And maybe that's the real ending here. Kevin Hart achieved almost everything entertainers dream about: money, ownership, influence, and legacy. But the version of Kevin audiences originally connected with, the hungry underdog shaped by struggle and insecurity, couldn't fully survive inside a billion-dollar empire. Success didn't destroy Kevin Hart. It changed the distance between him and the audience. He didn't fall off, he leveled up. But while leveling up, he may have left behind the exact thing that made people believe in him in the first place. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, subscribe, and share it with somebody else who remembers Kevin Hart's rise. Drop your comments down below and let me know what you think about Kevin's journey. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.